What's up, you fucking nerds? It's time for another episode of the BANcast Nerdcast, or BANcast for short. I am your host, TremorDeth, and this is the first BANcast we've done, or I've done, because there's no we right now, probably in a few months. And most of the reason for that was the Intoxination episodes. If you haven't been keeping up on Intoxination, you should check it out. The last 3 episodes, Sharknado, Avengers, and Jurassic Park are shortened up because originally I think I talked about this in the first set of podcasts that Intoxination was going to be like a commentary track and you listen to it and watch it at the same time you're watching a movie. I scrapped that and now I'm just taking the best bits of us being drunk and watching a movie and syncing it up with the movie itself. And it's a little copy. Oops, sorry, computer crap. It's a little copyright wise, but I see people like Nostalgia Critic get away with a lot worse than that, and it's tiny in the corner. So you know what? Fuck it. But yeah, the next episode we're gonna do is we already recorded it actually. Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. It won't be out for a couple weeks. I gotta edit it, and with working an actual job, it's impossible to get that shit done in any amount of time. And you don't want to hear about me talk about the technical aspects of running a sort of YouTube channel. You want to hear me talk about movies and video games and shit. So here we go. I haven't really done anything all summer. So I'm just going to go through the summer movies that I have seen. I didn't see Inside Out. I really want to. I might eventually, but I'm not going to get to see that for a while. I didn't get to see Resurrection F yet. That comes out tomorrow. Yeah, I guess tomorrow technically. I won't get to see that till the weekend. I'll talk about that next episode. So let's just go through what I did see. I saw Ant-Man. Favorite movie this summer. Fucking love that movie. The comedic moments are great. The action's really well done. I love seeing the detail in the really tiny small world. And the last time I think we really saw something like that in that depth was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which was all practical effects, which looked good for the time, but and also Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had a very sad moment with a ant, and there is also a sad moment with the ant in this movie. The ant, a ant, an ant. Um, Paul Rudd's really good as Scott Lang. I wasn't really on board when I heard they weren't going to use Hank Pym as the main Ant-Man, and the fact that he wasn't in the Avengers at the beginning kind of pissed me off a little bit, but I got over it, and the fact that this movie came out of it, don't care, love it, love this movie. If you haven't seen Ant-Man, you need to see that. You need to stop what you're doing and go fucking watch it, or wait till you're done listening to this and then go fucking watch it. Um, oh, there's a cameo by one of the Avengers in it, and technically there's two Avengers at the end, very end. There's two after credit sequences. Stay until the very end of the credits. But the villain I liked. I know IGN talked a little bit about the villain and how they didn't like him. This guy played Peter Russo in House of Cards, and I loved him in that. Uh, not he wasn't bad. Like I got his motivations. He was a kind of shitty person, and I get it. I liked him. So, and Michael Douglas was a good Hank Pym as an older Hank Pym. Definitely not the ultimate Hank Pym where he's slapping Janet around and Janet's barely in the movie. I know some people were kind of pissed off that the Wasp, a version of the Wasp, wasn't in the movie very much, and she's in there, but it's you'll blink it, you'll miss her if you blink. I get that. I understand that. I agree with that to some extent, but it doesn't make the rest of the movie bad. So just go check that shit out. I saw Terminator Genesis, and if you know me, Terminator 2 Judgment Day is probably my favorite movie of all time. I I I know there's like 5 or 6 movies I could say that about, but T2 would definitely be in the top tier, if not the top movie. The action, the acting, the the pacing, like everything about T2 I love. I love that movie. The special effects, uh perfect melding of CG and action and live action, just great. Um, Obviously, I love the original Terminator, but I saw T2 first. I was 7 years old. I was really young to see T2, but I did. T3 came out, and I was with Crimson when T3 came out. So it was a long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago. It was a long time after Terminator 2. And I did not like Terminator 3. There's good action in it, and it's not awful, but it fucked with the continuity, and I didn't like it. I mean, this is a movie I was built up for 10 years, or even more, 12 years. And when I went and saw it, it was like, oh, all the continuity stuff that was in the second movie, wah, wah, we don't give a shit. We're throwing it all out the window. We're kind of halfway rebooting it. I felt like they only did that because they fucked up the timeline, because T2 came out in 1991, but it technically took place in 1995 because John Connor was 10 years old. And I think they thought, oh, it was made in 91, so it took place in 91. And when the scriptwriter fucked up and they try to retroactively say, no, 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 we didn't fuck up. We were just rebooting it. And no, you fucked up. Just own up to it. And Sarah Connor died of not Alzheimer's, a leukemia, which was stupid. Like, if you want to see a real T3, watch the first season of Sarah Connor Chronicles. That was good, except it ends on a cliffhanger, which is annoying. Um, Terminator Genesis. I'll talk about Salvation first. Salvation, I liked more or less when it came out. I guess I still feel the same way. It's not awful. It's A lot of people say it's the worst thing ever. It's not. It's better than T3, but it's still, there's no time travel elements. It doesn't. I think a lot of people wanted to see the Judgment Day War, and when they finally saw it, they were just like, I don't know. There's no time travel. It's not the same. So, I mean, it has its problems outside of the non-time travel elements, but overall, it's not awful. It's just not great. Terminator Genesis I would put above that, but not as good as T2. It's pretty good. It does a lot of fan service. If you liked the first two movies, it's all fan service to that. I don't know if it's quite a reboot, or I'm not sure. Like, some of the timeline elements in Genesis just kind of don't. I don't know if they don't make sense, but if the two movies happened, what was the factor that altered the timeline and made Kyle Reese's uh, arrival be so much different than the Kyle Reese in Terminator One? They don't really explain it. My theory, and they don't talk about this, is it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. When you go in the past, you create two alternate timelines as a result. This is probably what happened, is when Kyle Reese went back, there was one who experienced Terminator 1's timeline and one experienced Genesis's timeline, and that's just, it's two different continuities, but it starts out the same until Kyle Reese travels through time. That's the only thing I can think of. Or the Terminator that got sent back by mysterious, we don't know who the hell, to Sarah Connor when she is a girl, because we don't know who the hell sent him back even at the end of the movie. That's not spoiling anything. The fucking trailer spoils shit. If you haven't seen the trailer for Genesis, do not watch them. Don't watch them before you see the movie, because it fucking spoils the movie. It fucking spoils it. It's the worst spoiler I've ever seen in a trailer. Period. It's if you know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. It has something to do with John Connor. You know what I'm talking about. It's fucking I wish I hadn't seen that before I went. It pisses me off. Um, let's see, Jurassic World. I love that movie. I love Jurassic World. I do. I was so looking forward to that coming out, and I wasn't disappointed. I expected it not to be as good as the original, but to be a solid action movie with maybe some cerebral stuff. There's not really any cerebral stuff. Most I think the most cerebral stuff, and I don't know if it's really smart necessarily, is Chris Pratt talking about the Indominus, figuring out it's at the top of the food chain and stuff like that. I liked how he was explaining how we gotta get this thing back, because if we don't, it's gonna figure out it's the shit, and then it's just gonna fucking start killing everything. Um, some people said the dinosaurs looked like shit. I think some of them looked worse than the two sequels. So I don't think they were awful looking, but I get that they should have looked we should have been blown the fuck away, and I wasn't blown the fuck away. Um, and there were instances where they had prosthetic, not prosthetic, animatronic raptors and stuff, and then they CG'd over them. I heard that, and that's weird. If it was just blinking eyes, I think that would have been okay. But I, I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely it was definitely noticeable and wasn't necessary if they actually had them fully functional and with detail. And I don't know. Like I don't know why they did that. But on the bright side, there's an amazing. I don't want to spoil it, but the scene at the end is worth the price of admission alone. I think the part where, and if you've seen the trailer, the Indominus Rex breaks out. That part I thought was really cool, though I know a lot of people made fun of people for being dumb. I guess. Um, Now there are a few things that people have criticized about Jurassic World. I just want to defend. I know how it should have ended. He um makes fun of everything. They make fun of everything, and I get that. That's their job. That's how they make money. I mean, I don't make money off of this really, so and if you get to a point where you make fun of everything so much that you're just nitpicking every single big movie that comes out. Like you have to nitpick because you have no choice or you go broke. And that's kind of what Honest Trailers and He does is they just nitpick shit to death. And sometimes they're right and it's funny, and sometimes it's fucking annoying. Um, Jurassic World somewhere in the middle. Their version of Jurassic World. Um, One of the things that they talked about was some of the stuff the zoos do with moats and whatnot. And in the book, they had moats. But I went to a zoo after I saw that, not because I was trying to prove a point, but because I took my wife and my son to St. Louis to see the zoo there. And they did have moats around the front, but in the back, they didn't, like against the wall. And it looks like in Jurassic World, that's where the Indominus was. It was against the wall. Um, it looked like there were smaller doors throughout the enclosure. That's how they got into the enclosure, but the guy just got trapped where there was a big door and he just said, "Fuck it, I'm going out the big door." That's getting nitpicky. It's getting so fucking nitpicky. I do like the part where they have the raptors talking to the Indominus and they gave him like sorry, throat got dry. I'm not editing this, so you get to hear all my ums and stuff. It takes me a shit ton of time to edit this, and I'm done with that until this is like a job. So, I mean, like I said, she's done stuff that's funny. I don't want. I know the guy's really talented, and I like a lot of the stuff he does. I really like his Halo Reach. How Halo Reach should have ended. That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. But I. I don't know. I think Honest Trailers is starting to rub me the wrong way, and maybe I should just get a sense of humor. But and like I said, I get why they've backed themselves in this corner where they have to nitpick everything or else they don't make any money. So, yeah, I don't know. Uh, and also, everything wrong with. I don't know how Nostalgia Critic gets some of his shit taken off of YouTube, but how it should have ended, and not how it should have ended. Honest Trailers and I'm gonna burp. Ah, and everything wrong with gets to keep their videos up. Everything wrong with is almost maybe because it's longer. I don't know. Anyway, um, so yeah, I really like Jurassic World, and is it the smartest movie in the world? No, but you will have a good time. You go to see that movie, you're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun throughout. I'm gonna go and say throughout. I know some people said the beginning, the middle, and the end's good, but everything in between sucks. I disagree with that. Chris Pratt's awesome. I love Chris Pratt. So fuck it. Jurassic World. I highly recommend it. Last movie I'm gonna talk about. I think this is the last movie to talk about right now. If I miss anything from the summer that I've seen and I forgot, I'll whatever. But Avengers: Age of Ultron. I really liked Ultron in that movie. I liked his speech patterns. I liked the way he gradually created his own consciousness. I liked all of that. I liked the action. I liked everything about that movie. I actually liked it better than the first one. I felt like the first one was very funny and quirky and had good action, but I feel like it had zero character development other than like Tony Stark and Captain America's interaction with each other. And that's fine, you have so many characters. But in this movie, they added character development and people just got pissed off. Like, they're like, oh, I don't give a shit about the Hulk and Black Widow. Oh, fuck Hawkeye and his family's character development. Hawkeye was barely in the first movie as far as being himself. And now he's in it. And not only that, but you get to see his motivations in his personal life a little bit. It wasn't like half an hour of Hawkeye like vacuuming or anything, but it was nice to see that, and that's the way it was in the comics, in the Ultimate Universe anyway. Of course, it's not going to end the way it did in the Ultimate Universe, where Black Widow comes in and murders his fucking family. But I liked it. I thought Ultron was a really cool villain, and I'm not even a huge fan of Ultron. I don't even like him in the comics that much. I thought he was done really well here. So, and the Vision was really cool. I know a lot of people were pissed that he picked up. Well, okay, if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, I do want to talk about this a little bit. So, spoiler alert for like a minute. The Vision picks up Thor's hammer, and that's how they trust him. And plot wise, that's so ingenious. It's like, oh, we don't trust you. Oh, you picked up the hammer. Okay, and it works. It's quick, it's relevant, it works, and it's fine. A lot of people didn't like that, but we've had other characters pick up Thor's hammer before. We had Wonder Woman in the DC crossover pick it up. Captain America's picked it up. Beta Ray Bill, some alien we barely knew, picked it up. I mean, come on, like just calm the fuck down, guys. It feels like Avengers Age of Ultron is Marvel's Man of Steel, where everybody takes every single little bitty thing about it and pisses on it because it's not like the first movie. So I don't know. The action's great. Andy Serkis doesn't show up for very long, which I was like, oh cool, Andy Serkis is in this movie, and then he's just like, oh, I'm gone. But his part in it's fucking hilarious. Whenever what Ultron does to him and the way they both react is amazing. That was the funniest part. Um, one of the funniest parts. And what else? Is there anything else about the movie? No, it was a pretty good in between movie. Like it's good to bridge the gap between the first movie and Infinity War. There's some stuff that links a little bit to Agents of Shield, but not as much as the Captain America Winter Soldier storyline in Agents of Shield. Also, I mean, if there's not a lot of people who watched the last few podcasts. I mean, there's several dozen people. There's more hits on the current videos than in the old videos, but I know I talked about Agent Carter. So if you listen to those episodes, I talked about Agent Carter a little bit, and that season's done. I really enjoyed it. Like I liked it. It's on Hulu. Check it out. Strong female lead, and I love the English accent, and she's amazing. That actress is great. Um, she's in Ant-Man a little bit. BT Dubs. I really liked that. I liked how she got arrested at one point and she had to regain everyone's trust, and it's good. I like it more than Agents of Shield. My favorite. I don't want to delve into TV shows too much, but I'm just gonna say this: my favorite TV show from last season was The Flash. That show's fucking awesome. If you haven't watched it, go watch it right fucking now. I'll wait. I'll sit here and I'll wait. That's all the movie and TV stuff I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to move pretty quickly because the first episodes were really long, and I'm trying to like just get what I want to say out. And if you have any opinions that you disagree with or agree with, and just put them in the comments on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Stitcher, no promises. I'm gonna try to get this up on Stitcher. Um, but the YouTube version, what I'm going to try to do is the YouTube version is going to have like an extra 20 minutes at the end. Because I think if I put it on Stitcher, I have no chance of making any money off of it, but I don't want to punish you guys by making you waste your data on the YouTube version. So I'm trying to have it both ways. I'm going to have a section at the end. I think I'm just going to talk about Halo 5 not having split screen, and that'll be the extra 20 minutes as Halo 5 talk. So if you're listening to this on Stitcher, you want to go to that last 20 minutes. Uh, so let me see. Um, I've been playing Arkham Knight. Crimson got it for me for my birthday. I've only gotten through like 20% of it. I really like it. It's a really good game. I played the first two through. I did not play Origins. A different studio made that. I might buy that on Wii U at some point just to buy it on Wii U because fuck it. Uh, I really like the Batmobile mechanics. I like the fact that you shoot missiles at drones and it destroys them, but if you aim that same weapon at a person, it turns into a beanbag. So I'm just putting beanbags in everyone's face, just. And then you've got a little bit of the Catwoman stuff so far. Uh, I was assuming they weren't going to waste her mechanics from the first game, or from the second game rather, because that was a whole section of the game if you pre-ordered it, and I think it just comes default with the game now is all the Catwoman stuff. I like how you can escort people around in the Batmobile. I like how you can go to Wayne. I like having Gotham just open to you. It's crazy how big it is. You have to have the Batmobile to get around because in Arkham City you could just kind of glide around and grapple and whatnot. You cannot do that. You can't get around hardly. It's so big, so you got to use the Batmobile. I love how you can use a remote control to drive it around. The puzzles are really good. I was playing Majora's Mask 3D recently, and that game, the Arkham Knight's puzzles are as in depth as some of those puzzles, if not more so. Considering that's like a over 10-year-old game. So I'm playing the Xbox One version. The graphics are superb. I know I didn't get in a debate or argument with a guy at a bar, and I was really drunk, but surprised, really drunk. He was telling me that PS4 was better, and I was like, I don't know if either one's quote unquote better. Because they have very similar specs. I think PS4 maybe has a slightly higher resolution, but I don't know. The graphics on Xbox in this version are amazing, so I don't know. Maybe they're better. I probably will get a PS4 because Shenmue 3 got announced. I'll probably get it for that because now Silent Hills is canceled. I wish I had done an episode for E3 because there was a mountain of things I wanted to talk about from that. We'll see if I've got time at the end after I talk about everything else, which it looks like I might have a little bit of E3 time to talk. Let me go ahead and talk about Splatoon a little bit. I'm in love with Splatoon. It's my lock screen on my smartphone. I love that it's not a typical shooter. I love that the objective is to cover the level in paint on normal mode and not to execute your opponents. I mean, I played Halo last weekend. I mean, I played Halo throughout my vacation that I had a couple weeks ago. I played all the campaigns on Master Chief Collection because I hadn't played all the campaigns through. I play tons of games where you just straight up murder people, but it's refreshing to have a colorful, poppy, fun game that's cute and hilarious, and I love it. I love that game. It's so much fun. If you haven't played Splatoon, please do. The free content we keep getting is crazy. How much free content they're putting out. I know that we had very few stages to start out with, but within the first week they're just shoving shit in our face. Like here's some more gear, here's some more shit. And the update in August or several more levels. I think we get all the levels, so we're gonna get like 4 or 5 more levels, plus 40 pieces of gear. 40, and the cap's gonna get raised to fit from 20 to 50. It's it's fucking crazy. And there's even rumors we're gonna get a new character, the Octoling girl. So it's so good. Like if you were on the fence because it didn't have a lot of content when it released, get it this month. You will not be disappointed. I promise. If you don't have a Wii U, I can honestly say if you kind of like shooters or really like shooters, you might want to pick up a Wii U. Like that game, this game is that good. It is a reason to get a Wii U. Now, I would also say go ahead and get Smash and Mario Kart 8 because I love Mario Kart 8, my game of the year last year. But Splatoon, I'm enjoying Splatoon still after a couple of months as much as I enjoy playing Arkham Knight. I just played a little bit of Splatoon before I started this. Uh, so yeah, just Splatoon, Splatoon, Splatoon. Buy that shit. or don't. I guess I shouldn't. You should buy their shirt. No, I don't. You. It would be a good thing if you did. If you don't want to, fine. I shouldn't like order people to do things, but um, I'll go ahead and talk about E3 a little bit. Since it's been like over a month since E3, almost a month and a half, I guess. It's been a while. It's been a while, but there's still some stuff to talk about. Um, Satoru Iwata died right after E3 or a few weeks after E3. My background on my computer is artwork someone did with him, like hugging all of his characters. It's super cute. I mean, no one saw it coming because we thought he was better from his bile duct thing. Um, Maybe it's because I watched all those Nintendo Directs, and I didn't expect to like actually be saddened by this when I was watching some coverage on it, but I was pretty sad. Uh, and I wouldn't give a shit if like Xbox's supervising manager died. I mean, that's kind of shitty. No offense to them. If I met them in real life and we had a couple of drinks, that would change very quickly. But I don't know them, and it's not something I think about. But Iwata in the Nintendo Directs just gave us a connection to this goofy, fun Japanese guy who just wanted to show us some fucking video games, and I was really sad. It wasn't like a relative died or anything, but I actually had an emotional response. I was like, oh my god, that's awful. And I saw some comments like on IGN, and they were just some of them were disgusting. Some of them were fucking disgusting. If you're listening to this, anyone who's on there was like, "Oh, maybe Nintendo can write itself now, and we can get like we can have PC triplets now because Nintendo's going to blah 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 blah." You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. I know that Nintendo fucked up with some of its advertising and to some extent with the Wii U, but assholes like you would never have bought the Wii U, even if it was the same specs as three or Xbox One or PS4, and didn't have a tablet screen. You still wouldn't have bought it because you're a fucking asshole. Because you just want a COD, bro, and that's all you do. And I've played COD a little bit. No offense to anybody who plays all sorts of games and that happens to be part of their umbrella of games, but the people who just play COD and just have a PS4 or Xbox One for that just that annoys the piss out of me. And I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, but whatever. Anyway, now that I've offended every COD bro out there, uh, but those are the type of guys who sit there and talk shit about Nintendo. These guys have the amount of free time to go on YouTube or IGN and sit there and talk shit about a, a very nice man who has passed away, who by all accounts did a good job on every system he touched, excluding sales wise on the Wii U. But the Wii U has some really fucking awesome games. And the mistakes that were made shouldn't have drug it down as far as it did. It was cheaper than the other systems and it had a good library, like right out of the gate. So like Zombie U is a great game, and even New Super Mario Bros. U is really fun. It's the best of the 2.5D series. So anyway, um, I have some ideas about the NX actually, and maybe I'll talk about those later, but not this episode. So other things during E3, we saw Gears of War 4. I thought that looked pretty cool. I like Gears of War, so we saw Star Fox, and yeah, I kind of agree with people that the graphics are kind of like maybe too rudimentary. I wouldn't care if the art style was a little edgy, and edgy I mean like very few pixels, and it's edgy. It's like it's like N64, jaggy, not jaggy because the resolution's high, but you know what I mean. If you've seen the videos, you know what I mean. And that's because it's rendering on two screens at once, apparently, so they had to lessen the graphics. So that's weird. I don't know if I'm gonna get it out of the gate, even if the graphics are really, really good. I don't think I was gonna get out of the gate anyway. I've never been huge on Star Fox. I was excited to see the whole puppet thing, and I was excited to see stuff on it, but if it blew me away, I might have gotten it. But it didn't, so I'm probably gonna wait because I've got both Halo 5 and Fallout 4 to get, and Mario Maker. And I'll segue into Mario Maker. That game looks fucking boss. I am anybody who's in their mid 30s to mid 20s should be excited about that game. Everyone should be excited about how much fun they're gonna have building their own Mario levels and multiple art styles. I am fucking psyched. And I'm not even gonna make like traditional platforming levels. I'm probably gonna make uh like puzzle solving levels. Like you have to get items and stuff to get through the level. It's like Zelda esque Mario levels. I promise. My name's my gamer tag's spelled in the description, but it's TremorDeth. TremorDeth. If you if you want to follow me on Miiverse, that's cool. I haven't accepted friend invites yet, and maybe if I start getting more views, I have lately, but just not for gaming stuff. Um, Maybe I'll start accepting friend requests. But follow me, and if you really want to be on my friends list, send me a message with your request saying that if you send me a message saying I listen to BANcast, please be on my friends list, I'll immediately accept that. But I have random people trying to get on my friends list all the time, and I don't know who they are, and I don't I don't know. Sometimes I just don't want to be bothered on there. But anybody who's a friend of the channel, I'll play with you if I have the time. Period. So. And you can look at my Mario Maker levels whenever that comes out on September 11th. I know some people were freaking out about that, but uh, oh my god, I joked that I should just build like two two towers of bricks and have bullet bills fly into them and just record that and put it on the channel. Oh my god, that's awful. Like I was 17 when that happened. That's not like I was a little kid or anything. Some people were little kids. Like if you're 20 or 18, if you are 18 years old right now, you were 5 when 9/11 happened. 5. I couldn't even imagine being that young. I Holy shit. Um, Other stuff at E3, Shinmu 3. I was huge into Shinmu. I had a Dreamcast. I love that system. I don't know if it's gonna be as good as the other two, just because. I'm gonna rephrase that. I don't know if it's gonna be as revolutionary as the first two, because Shinmu 1 was revolutionary. I don't think the second one was as much, but I mean, Shinmu 1 came out when open world games were like GTA overhead type setups, and maybe there were, and even Fallout was like isometric. If I don't know if Fallout was out yet, but that was open world back then, and now we have stuff like Fallout and Oblivion, Fallout 3 and 4 and Oblivion and stuff, Skyrim. So I don't know if it's going to be revolutionary, but it'll very least continue the story and be um it'll have the RTS sequences and cool bosses and cool fight sequences and stuff to explore and light switches to switch on and off, haircuts to get, jobs to have, kitty cats to take care of, whatever. It's Shinmu has all sorts of crazy shit to do, from getting into bar fights to taking care of a kitten, whatever you want to do. So I'm excited about that. Final Fantasy VII remake. If I'm going to get Shinmu 3 and get a PS4 for that, I might as well play Final Fantasy VII remake. I've been wanting to play Final Fantasy VII for 7 or 8 years now. I keep hearing about it. I bought Advent Children when it came out, even though I didn't know anything about the game, because I really liked it when I saw it in college. And so yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I'm excited about. Triforce Heroes looks cool, but there's no two-player mode. And me and Zelda Man were gonna play it together, and then we found out there's no two-player. There's only one or three, and that basically is a deal breaker. So I might buy it because it comes out in the spring. Mario Luigi Paper Jam looks really cool. I love both of those game series, but I really want to see a Wii U one. I think maybe, and this is the rumor, that Wii U is winding down and we will get NX next year. Whatever it's going to be really called, E3 will be here's our new system, here's the date it's coming out, here's what's going to launch with it. And Zelda Wii U will also be Zelda NX. That's the rumor. Um, I've got time. We've only been doing this for 35 minutes exactly. Um, I don't know. Okay, so I've had a bunch of ideas for what the NX should be, and if we want to worry about Nintendo riding the ship as far as sales are concerned, like I said, I defended Iwata's as a person. And I don't even know if the decision for the Wii U was bad when it was made, because keep in mind, systems are made as soon as as soon as the Wii launched, the Wii U was being designed. So how many tablets were out in 2006, right? And by the time it came out in 2012, which was a really long life cycle for a Nintendo console because the Wii did so well, they just smartphones and tablets were too prevalent, and everyone looked at that tablet controller and they're like, nope, we don't give a shit. Not me, obviously, but I get why people didn't give a shit. And then they had bad production. They didn't realize how long it took to produce HD games, which was, I don't know if that's Iwata's fault, but I'm not gonna blame him for anything. Let's just leave. Let's just put Iwata's name off the table right now out of respect for him. But um, there were mistakes made, and 3DS righted itself and became a pretty big success in the world of smartphones and mobile gaming. 3DS turned a pretty hefty profit. Not a DS level of profit, but a decent profit. And that blows my fucking mind. Um, but the Wii U didn't sell that well. I think they hit 10 million units. I know I saw someone on YouTube, several commenting, talking shit about that. I don't remember what video it was on. I think it was just Halo 5 having no split screen, which I'm going to talk about in the YouTube section. Um, I mean, damn. Uh, I don't know. I haven't given a shit about the console wars since I was 10 years old, and I was arguing about Sega Saturn and PlayStation. Like I don't give a shit. I want good games. I want to play them, and if you can only afford one system and you feel the need to defend that system, I don't know. I don't get it. You're a little kid and you should shut the fuck up. Like I said, like I don't have a problem with any platform. Um, and choose whatever makes you happy. But don't sit there and say, "Oh, look at this system that has really good games on it that people enjoy. Fuck that system because it only sold 10 million." That's that just irritates the shit out of me. So whatever. Um, so I was thinking, because a lot of people were saying that Nintendo's gonna have a mobile, home console hybrid. Like you could, I don't know how it would work. My theories on if they did that, and that's not my idea, but my theories on if that rumor is true. Either the least likely option is coming up with downgraded versions of the games that are produced that are put on simply a 3DS as a dual download, not a literal 3DS, but a 3DS esque device. Um, and then you could play it at home too on HD visuals. That's unlikely. That'd be crazy expensive. Even if you had the device and maybe the memory allows you to download 2 or 3 games into it, like HD games, like you could just take it from your home console and stick like 3 or 4 games in your portable game system. I don't know. Like I think honestly, 3DS is it. 3DS is it. There will be no more, no more, no more, no more, no more uh portable Nintendo systems. That's the last nail in the coffin, and it ended on a good note, good sales, great library. They'll support it for a while, but I don't I don't see it going on anymore. Like I think it's done. Because of mobile, because Nintendo's doing mobile games now with DNA. There's no fucking way they're gonna be like, oh well, hey, guess what? Let's do another mobile system and combine it. Like the hybrid demon beast that would be the NX if it was mobile and home console. It would be more expensive than an Xbox One. It'd be more expensive than PS4, and they can't do that right now. They have to match the price or even hit lower than it to even be competitive. They're not going to do that. I honestly have no fucking clue what Nintendo's going to do. No fucking clue. I don't know. What would I do if I were them? Okay, so I haven't given a shit about the power of a system this generation just because the Wii. I told somebody who was a very big Sony fanboy and PC. I'm gonna call him a PC elitist because he was kind of shitty to people who play console games until he finally ended up getting a PS3, and then he was shitty towards anybody who owned a Wii. I don't know why, and we're not friends anymore, so whatever. Um, I told him I didn't care about graphics. Seeing 360 hit its stride compared to the Wii, I care. Looking at the two Ghostbusters games, yeah, I give a shit about graphics. It's about immersion. It's about the experience. Control matters. The Wii had some great games on it. Mario Galaxy and Skyward Sword is some of my favorite games, but graphics matter to some extent. This generation, they matter a little bit less. The Wii U is sufficient. You can tell the difference between an Xbox One and a Wii U graphically, but it's a lot less noticeable between Wii and 360 or Wii and Wii U. So, but people seem to be obsessed with power now, power and resolution wars and power. So honest, and as well as treating your customers with an iota of respect. I feel like Microsoft when they fucked up last was it last no I guess it's two E3s ago and we're like hey guess what here's all these complicated rules about how you can download games and people revolted and bought PS4s and maybe they deserved it. But they also cared about weird resolution wars where it doesn't really look that much better between PS4 and Xbox One, and you have to have a really good TV to even tell. I do have a good TV when it doesn't have baby fingerprints all over it. God damn it! But uh, baby problems spilling over into podcast. Fuck babies. No, no, I love little baby X. So I have to wipe his fingerprints off of there a lot. But I'll get a new TV when he's older, and it'll all be good. I promise. Um, but people are obsessed with that now. And if Nintendo wants to survive, they have to sell. If they want to sell, they're going to have a console that has comparable power to Xbox One and PS4. And this is early enough in those two's life cycles, which will probably be about 7 years. That would work. Like you could have 4 to 5 years of really good, really comparable graphics to them. You could have 4 to 5 years of the NX matching them. Now, wait before you start freaking out and getting pissed off. I don't want to do exactly what they're doing, per se, but I feel like Nintendo's more than I'm using gimmick in the dictionary definition of like of fuck what's the word I'm looking for, god damn it, all I have are words on here. Innovation. A gimmick as an innovation that we haven't seen before, that is a feature that isn't in other products. And Nintendo isn't necessarily the gimmicks. Wii and Wii U had the motion controls and the gamepad, and I like the gamepad for off screen and the few games that use it, but it was expensive and it drove the cost of the Wii U up, and unfortunately, like maybe 3 or 4 games used it to its full potential. That's not enough to justify driving the cost up that much. So, hardware that's comparable to the other two systems, number one. Number two, a controller that is very similar to the fight stick controller that they've been putting out for Smash Brothers, the GameCube like controller. Except make the sticks click because they don't click for some reason, so I can't use them with some games, which is weird. I don't know why. I guess they cut down on cost or something. Give those full vibration. Give them the charging setup that the Pro controller has, because that's ingenious, where you can just charge it up and it's 80 hours. One thing, so PlayStation has a bad habit of co-opting uh, Nintendo's ideas. They did it with the PlayStation Move, and they put a little screen on their controllers, like the Wii U has the big screen. Let's co-op an idea back from Sony and put a little screen on the Pro Fight Stick controller. Now, hear me out. This has a function. One of the launch titles for the NX should be Splatoon. I don't mean Splatoon 2. I mean the version of the game that's out right now, but with slightly upgraded graphics. They come out with the NX, say, "We are next." That's my tagline is "We are next." Um, and the N and the X are big. I know they're probably not going to call it the NX. I'm not stupid, but I'm just saying for whatever. No, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. um, so you come out with Splatoon NX Edition. You take the entire game that's there now, plus all the amiibo content. No need to unlock it with an amiibo. Have 3 new sets of amiibo content to unlock with those 3 amiibo. Maybe some other amiibo things like a Mario, a Flood if you use Mario to unlock it and stuff. I like the idea of amiibo content because you buy the figures and then you unlock things on multiple games. I like it. I like the idea. Like some people are like, oh, $12 for shitty DLC. I'm like, no, it's $12 for DLC that you're gonna be able to unlock for basically like I don't know 10 years or whenever they stop doing amiibo. But it's so popular, I don't see them not doing it anytime soon. Um, and that little screen would also scan the amiibo, so that's 2 birds with 1 stone. So uh, the problem with putting Splatoon on that console without a screen is the ink strikes and teleporting and all that. And now that problem's fixed with the little map will be on that screen, and then you can do your ink striking and tapping and teleporting from there. Problem solved. I'll go ahead and add a shit ton of content to that. Now, the one feature I would add to Splatoon that's not in the Wii U version is something that I'm going to talk about later with Halo 5. Nintendo needs to be the king of couch co-op again. Nintendo has done that. I think Super Mario 3D World is one of the best co-op games I've ever played. It's amazing. I think Mario Brothers U is okay for 2 players, but once you get 4 players in there, it's a fucking mess. Mario World was amazing for co-op. Like that's the only reason I think it almost approaches the Galaxy games, if if you have more people playing with you as far as fun's concerned. It by yourself, it's pretty good, but it's not like even close to Galaxy. But once you add like 2 or 3 people in there, it's almost as good as Galaxy as far as the amount of fun that I have. Nintendo's been doing that with Mario Kart. You saw a split screen with Mario Kart running at 60 frames a fucking second. Um, unless you go 4 ways, and that's online too. Like Mario Kart 8 is online 2-way split screen, 60 frames a second. Nintendo needs to do what the other 2 systems aren't. They are cash grabbing and coming up with excuses. And I know people are like, "Oh, you don't know technical things and blah blah blah." I know enough about video games with my little bitty like shitty game design degree that I have to know that all you have to do is reduce the frame rate and the graphics for even 2-way split screen for Halo 5. And I'm not going to talk about that too much because I that's the end of the show. But Splatoon already does that. So if every controller has a tiny screen on it, and those controllers aren't 150 like the Wii U pad, but they're more like 75 or 80, which is still high, but is it's doable. Um, then everybody's gonna have that screen, and everybody's gonna have a map. So then you could take uh, split screen online with Splatoon and just advertise Nintendo, the king of couch co-op, and just show your friends coming over, some friends coming over and sitting on the couch, and let's play Titanfall or Halo 5, and they can't do it because there's no split screen. It's like, oh, and you see them go out and buy another Xbox One and another copy of the game and sit down in a separate room, and they're like, all right, we're ready to play, and and then they're not signed on or something. They come back in and like 4 people on the couch playing Splatoon or something. Like you could do stuff like that. It'd be funny, and I don't want to jab Microsoft too much because I do still like the Halo series. It's just that decision. Ugh. Anyway, and then they could and then you have Zelda NX/Wii U come out as a launch title, and possibly something else they're developing that we don't know about. Get some third parties involved. Supposedly, the new system was going to have the Android operating system, and that makes it very easy to program for. Supposedly, according to people who know such things, and you'd have everything you need right there for a system that's different, and it wouldn't be different hardware wise that much. I mean, you'd have Android and you have proprietary discs that aren't Blu-rays, and you couldn't play Blu-rays and stuff, but you still have all the other apps that matter. um, Maybe they should think about putting a Blu-ray player in it, but that's their decision. I already have 2 Blu-ray players, so I don't need a third one. um, make the console look attractive. I think the Wii U just looks like a sideways Wii with less angles. So I don't know. Um, I just feel like they could just do that. Like, oh, we're the king of couch co-op. We're gonna just this is our thing. Like, we don't need proprietary hardware or anything. We're just gonna do this. Now, the other thing they could do with the NX is just have it compatible with all the Wii stuff, because why not? People will still like to play Wii Sports and all of that, and maybe even Wii Fit. If NX is popular enough, the new Wii Fit will be bought. The problem with the Wii U and Wii Fit U was no one bought the Wii U, so no one bought Wii Fit U. I did, but I got it for free technically, but from buying the Fit meter. I almost called it a Fitbit, the Fit meter. Um, but you could launch with Wii Sports Online, and that's what you call it. Take Wii Sports Club, you put another couple sports in it, have it downloaded into the NX, package not only the Fight Stick controller or the Pro controller, whatever you want to call it, with a little screen on it that I just talked about. Put a Wii remote in there too. Give it a new look. We give it a new sleek, maybe like dark gray or granite or something look. Have a big NX on the bottom, and just say, hey, it's compatible with this Wii stuff still, because we still care about people who want to do that. And just put it in there for free. Wii remotes don't cost that much to make now. I can get them a dime a dozen. Just put it in there. Wii Sports Online, boom, money in the bank. Immediately download it in there. I know it's like doing the same thing, but it's free and you might as fucking well, and it's online. Wii Sports Club was a stupid name, and the idea for putting it online one game at a time is fucking stupid. It was fucking stupid, and they didn't advertise it very well. Like, they didn't advertise anything except for Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon very well. God fucking damn it. So, so yeah, all that. All that shit. And honestly, the games will follow if they get they and at that point they may have, unfortunately, a GameCube situation where they did all the right things and no one gave a shit, or you may have a Wii situation. Uh, but honestly, I want to see third parties say, hey, they've got the power that these other systems have. Let's go ahead and like release, I don't know, a new version of Arkham Knight on it. I know that's late to the game, but whatever. Let's release whatever's coming out next year, third party. I honestly don't know anything third party that's coming out next year. Um, in the fall anyway, off the top of my head, because Fallout comes out this year. I don't know if Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out next year fall or next year spring or this fall. I'm not sure. I haven't paid attention to that game. But really court those third parties and say, hey, you got a chance here. And if Zombie does well enough on Xbox One and PS4, bring them in and say, hey, we gave you Ubisoft, we gave you a chance to do Zombie U. Didn't pan out as far as sales are concerned. Let's go ahead and put it out as an exclusive on this NX system first, and then you can put it on um, the other systems a couple months later, and we'll fund it. We'll fund it like we did Bayonetta, partially anyway. Maybe Bayonetta 3 could be a launch title. I don't think they could produce that quickly, but there's all sorts of stuff they could do. No More Heroes 3 as a launch title, that'd be fucking tight. And then you have the Wii Remote packaged in, so you could use the Wii Remote controls, like in the first two, so that'd be tight. Yeah, but I think that's a good idea. I think having like I said, couch co-op, people sitting in the room, being being together and playing, because okay, I'll the rest of the stuff I want to say about that I'm gonna do in the YouTube only version. So, um, if you're listening to this on Stitcher, thanks for listening. Me ramble on about movies and video games for 50 something fucking minutes. Uh, Go check out the YouTube channel. It's a Buck Ass Nerd. Subscribe, like, go all see all that stuff. If you want to listen to the last 20 or so minutes of this on there, go ahead, check that shit out. And we're gonna have Star Wars: The Phantom Menace and Toxin narration up in a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the latest. September, we're going to have a bloopers reel of Intox Narration, because this is a busy month and we just won't be able to film it. October, we'll have Night of the Living Dead, both the normal formatted Intox Narration episode, and we're going to have it's public domain, so we can just put the whole movie with us drinking and watching it on YouTube. We may make a drinking game out of it, just like we normally do, but and you can play along if you want, or you just watch us get drunk off our asses and watch an awesome old school horror movie, whatever. And for everybody listening to the normal podcast, I'll see you fucking nerds later. Hey, all right, so this is the YouTube only section. Sorry for the ham-handed sticking all this shit together, but so I wanted to talk about the decision that came out this week, and I was pissed when I found this out. Like, I was fucking pissed when I found this out. That Halo 5 Guardians will not have split screen in any mode. And I know whenever the beta came out, they said, oh, no, this single screen shit's only for the beta. We're going to have split screen. And announced this week, no, we're not going to have that. Titanfall didn't have it. A lot of games, uh, lately on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One just don't have split screen at all. And they're trying to cite technical reasons like, oh, well, it won't run as smooth and blah, 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 blah. Who gives a shit? Like, we know this. Like, anybody who's played video games on split screen knows that once you split the screen, it's rendering two screens. So it's not going to run as smooth. Mario Kart 8 does, but that's because Nintendo's the shit and knew what they wanted to do right out of the gate. And maybe 343 did. And they're like, we're not going to put split screen in this. So we're never even going to think about optimizing this for split screen. We're just going to tell them and lie to them. I hope that's not the case, but that could very well be the case. So me and my wife played Spartan Ops from beginning to end. She really liked that. She played ODST with me. She played some of the 4 campaign with me. We really liked playing that together, and now we won't be able to do that. And no Halo game ever again, it seems, will ever have that if they continue on this path. So my son, who's very young and can't play video games right now, when he is able to play video games. As far as Halo's concerned, and maybe that's a little too violent, but it's never been super gory, and it's borderline, but I'd probably let him play it when he's kind of young. It's not like it's Gears where you're chopping people in half or whatever. It's almost teen even. I would say, but um the that decision just blows my mind. And that's why also Nintendo, like I said before, should really capitalize on that the other two systems are just saying, you know what? Fuck co-op. You need to spend if you want to play even let's even say 2 players on this game, you got to buy 2 Xbox Ones, 2 copies of the game. And Xbox Ones are what, are they 350 or 400 right now? Let's just say 350 used. Let's just say you get it used 350. That's $700 plus $120. That's $820 just to play 2 people and 2 TVs. And I'm not even going to calculate the cost of a second TV into that. But $820 just to play 2 people on one game. That blows my fucking mind. And there are a ton of people out there, myself included, who have friends who come over to play, and they may even have the game, but they come over because it's fun to play with other people and get a drink and slap each other on the arms and laugh when you blow someone's fucking head off. Just I don't get this decision other than it's just a cash grab. They know people will buy Halo 5 no matter what, and they're just like, fuck it. Like logistically, it's just money based. It's not technicality based, or it's not technical issue based. That's bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse, and everybody fucking knows it's a bullshit excuse. And if it's gonna the performance is gonna suffer that much when you split the screen, just put a warning up every time you sign a second person in that says, warning, the performance of the graphics are going to be exceptionally lessened as a result of you using split screen. Be aware the frame rates and graphics resolution will decrease. And then you hit the A button and you move on with playing a game that looks slightly less impressive. And that's all you do. That's all you have to do. But instead, they're like, no. I get if you're an artist and you worked on that, you want people to see it in its maximum, in the best way it could possibly be displayed. But it's not worth keeping people from playing it. Keeping people who would like my friend, like Zelderman's not gonna get an Xbox One for a long time. Um, he just got his vet tech uh, certification, and he won't have a job that pays enough to move out of his tiny apartment and get on his feet and stuff for a while. And he's gonna come over to my house and play games, and he's not gonna be able to play Halo 5 with me. We'll have to pass the controller, and that's fucking stupid. I fucking hate that. This is a step backwards. That's what you used to do with the NES. Was, oh well, Mario died. Now it's time for Luigi. Oh, now Luigi died. It's time for Mario. That type of shit. Or you had to pass the controller or whatever. It's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I just stopped for a second. I don't I like this is just the direction that the company's going in. From the anti-piracy stuff to where your Xbox One would shut off if you're off the internet, and they undid all of that because I mean Sony still stomped them. It's not like once they said, oh no, we're doing the Xbox 180, we're not going to do any of that shit. They still did it. I mean, they still got stomped because of it. And not to mention the Xbox One still has some stability issues that I have to like deal with constantly. I just I don't and now there's no split screening games, so it's the biggest, and Sony does that too though, but it's the biggest cash grab I've ever seen. The only reason they didn't do all the digital piracy stuff was because people lost their fucking minds over it. I mean, I've had my internet go out before for hours, for like 4 or 5 hours, and it's usually sometimes it's only for a couple hours. So for some reason, once every couple months, my cable company does tests right around midnight on Sundays, and I'm not joking. It always is that exact time, and my internet will go out, and I wouldn't be able to play if they had kept to that. Um, I don't know. Like I have so many memories of sitting around playing split screen Halo. Um, Not just with the friends I have now, but the friends I used to have. I had a whole group of friends that I don't talk to now, which is unfortunate because uh, several of them I miss. But regardless, I have so many memories of playing all of them from 1 to 4 with other people split screen, and even Master Chief Collection lately with Zelderman and Three Dozer, and that's all gone now. For the future, and we can still play those games, but any future installment won't have that. And it sucks because Halo 5's online system, I think, is the best that I've seen so far, with all the even armor abilities, and everyone's on an even playing field. And I love all the mobility uh, enhancements. It's a shame. It's a shame. And I actually thought about canceling my pre-order and just getting it cheap used, as a big fuck you to 343. But I'm not. I'm gonna get it on day one. Uh, I'm just not gonna be happy about that aspect of it. So I don't. I guess there's not really anything else to talk about. I've only been talking for 8 minutes, so let's see. Do YouTube exclusive bullshitting. What the fuck do I else want to talk about? Let me see. Well, they casted the new Spider-Man. I honestly don't have any opinions about that. He's very young, but his cameo for Civil War's already been filmed. That's a thing. I really. Oh, I'll talk about Batman versus Superman a little bit. So exclusive Batman versus Superman talk. I've been a pretty big defender of Man of Steel. I think some of the criticisms lobbed against it were stupid and nitpicky. I'm just mad that uh, Chris, Christopher Reeve wasn't in front of the camera and Richard Donner wasn't behind it. There are some legitimate problems with Man of Steel, but none of them make it a bad movie. It just makes it a pretty good movie, or a really good movie, but not a fucking awesome movie. Granted, and I agree, but It doesn't make it a bad movie. Um, BVS looks fucking tight. I know they're probably sticking too many superheroes in it, but Ben Affleck, which I think most people were the thing they were most pissed off about Batman versus Superman. I think everybody thinks that's the best thing now. Just the way he looks and just a little bit of acting that we've seen is great. The new Batmobile, I guess, isn't anything. I used to get so excited when a Batman movie came out because the Batmobile would be different almost every time, and at this point, the new one I guess looks like a hybrid of the Tumbler and the new and the old Batmobile. So I don't know, the '90s Batmobile. So that's nothing huge there. The fight sequences look really good. I know some people are pissed off about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I just can't get pissed off until I see the movie. I only think I've seen him in his Zombieland. I never saw Social Network. I know a lot of people are calling him Facebook Lex, and once again, that's just like the cynical dicks talking. But I don't know. I won't know because I know I had a knee jerk reaction to Heath Ledger as Joker, and I was really wrong about that. I was super super fucking wrong. So I won't do that again. I won't have the knee jerk reaction of Jesse Eisenberg's gonna suck as Lex Luthor, or and everyone's knee jerk. Oh, Ben Affleck's gonna suck as Batman, and now everyone's like, oh my god, he's so awesome. Look at that gray in his hair. Blah, 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 blah. So I also have seen some bitching about what's her name, Gal Gadot. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name as Wonder Woman. Uh, I don't know. I guess a lot of people said she should be bigger, as in not anorexic with more curves. Like supposedly Lady Sif is a good reference that she's very curvy but still very fit. Um, I don't know. I don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't have any problem with her yet. I haven't seen her act in it, so I just have to see. Maybe physically she's not ideal, but I don't know. Like I don't have any strong feelings about it. So I just started watching Game of Thrones today. So the guy who plays Aquaman's in that as and he's pretty rapey in that show. Like at the beginning, anyway. I mean, he is just like, "Hey, baby, you don't want it? Too bad. I'm a fucking animal." Boom. And then she's like, "Oh, well, I want it now, and I'm gonna act like I'm gonna make you happy." And I don't know what happened. Don't tell me what happens in the show. A bunch of people get stabbed at a wedding. Yeah, I know. Uh, I'm really late to the party on that one, but it's hard to get a hold of it. I don't have HBO, and fuck you. So, oh, Ash versus the Evil Dead. Let's talk about that a little bit. That looks fucking awesome. I love the fact that they play up his age in that. That he's an older Ashley Williams, an older Bruce Campbell. Lucy Lawless is in it. That's cool. I watched Parks and Rec recently. She's in that a little bit. And man, I like they didn't fuck around with the gore with that. They don't fuck around with the gore in that show. It looks like they're just cutting people's fucking heads off. It's just like rah, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So, they were Jewish, right? No, I didn't. It would have been great if you told me that before I made these stupid fucking crosses. That's fucking awesome. Uh, So yeah, I really look forward to that. Supposedly they might do a crossover with the new Evil Dead because technically the book was different and it might actually be in the same world, which is neat. But I don't know. I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know how I'm gonna watch it because I don't have Stars or cable or whatever. I don't think it's on Hulu, so I may just if they have, I may just buy the season. Like fuck it. I'm gonna do the same thing. The Walking Dead when that comes out. I'm just gonna buy the season this year. Drinking what the fuck is this? Strawberry kiwi kickstart. Very nummy. Oh man, I didn't expect this 20 minutes to be so fucking hard to get through. Uh, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F comes out this week. I am very excited about that because I love Dragon Ball Z. I've loved it since I was 14 or a little younger. Once I started watching it, I couldn't stop. I know before my dad moved out, he got pissed off because I watched it so much. Of course, he got pissed off about everything, so maybe I wasn't me or Dragon Ball Z's fault. Familial issues. So, I liked Battle of Gods. I could go through like I could just talk about Dragon Ball Z. I could do a podcast about Dragon Ball Z, but Battle of Gods was quirky and funny, and the action was good, and everything was good. Like I really liked that movie. It was probably I want to say it's probably the best Dragon Ball Z movie. It's not the best thing that the series has ever done, but the movies are usually out of continuity and they're always wrapped up very neatly with a spirit bomb at the end, and it's like barely not barely over 40 minutes long or whatever. It's the Dragon Ball Z movies usually aren't that great. There's some that are, but they're usually out of continuity. Like Fusion Reborn's pretty good, but it's so out of continuity that it's hard to get into it because none of that shit matters. But Battle of Gods apparently happens in the new Dragon Ball show that's coming out. Dragon Ball Super takes place like starts right before that movie, I think, and then part of it is the movie, and then Resurrection F is the other part of the series. So Frieza comes back. Supposedly he has to train, and that's something that I find very interesting because Frieza's always been this pompous person who's had everything handed to him, and then Goku beat his ass, and then Trunks killed him. Uh, when he was almost practically dead as a cyborg anyway. So the fact that he had a train is a really interesting idea in Hell. I really hope that I think it's in Hell. I don't know if he trains after he gets resurrected or what, but I think that's a really cool idea. I like seeing a lot of the characters uh, fight that we hadn't seen, like Roshi fights for the first time in a while. I think he powers up too. He's taking down Frieza's soldiers here and there in the preview, so maybe he's been training. I mean, he's immortal because he drank from the Fountain of Youth or the Youth Potion, depending on what translation you're talking about. And yeah, he's old, but he doesn't like die of old age, so he could train. He's as good at martial arts as he was in Dragon Ball. So all he needs is a power boost and learn how to fucking fly. But um, so if you've seen even a little bit of the previews, and if not, spoiler alert, Goku has a new Super Saiyan form, and the translation of this is, I kid you fucking not, Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. That's the title. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. It is, what is that? 5 fucking words long. Really? I know in Japanese it probably sounds really cool. It's like Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan. Like I'm sure like Japanese people love long titles. Like you look at any translated title of a Dragon Ball Z episode, it's super long. They have to change that for the English dub. I'm usually not for infringing upon uh the translation infringing upon the accuracy of a translation, but in this case, please change it to something else. You could call it Transcendent Saiyan. You could call it um Eternal Saiyan or Eternal. I don't care. Just do not call it Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. That's fucking stupid. SSGSS. Uh, don't call it that. Please don't call it that. And I don't know, because Beerus is in it, and I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be any good. I've heard kind of good stuff about it, but uh, like I'm looking at IGN right now. If you couldn't hear my phone, uh, I don't want to look at their score. They gave it an 8, so yeah, eight's a good score. So yeah, it's apparently pretty good. Which is weird because, like I said, a lot the old Dragon Ball Z movies that Akira Toriyama didn't write were just cut and paste. Like the first 6 movies are basically the same thing. It's kind of annoying. I still watch them though because they're short and it's just like, oh, it's fun times. I'd rather be watching the show, I guess, excluding a few instances. And some of the translations are god awful on the original dub or the only dubs of the movies. Uh, the first 3 have an alternate dub if you didn't know. Like I said, I could do a whole video if I had the time and this were my thing for like a living. I would literally do a Dragon Ball Z video every single week. I would call it Dragon Ball 101, and every week I would have a new video. So if you want to see Dragon Ball 101 videos, get your friends to watch the YouTube videos. And this is the YouTube exclusive section, speaking of. And we're almost at 20 minutes, so look at that. I will try to plan for the 20-minute section better next time, because at 8 minutes, I ran out of shit to talk about. Um, so this is the first episode of Buckcast Nerdcast BANcast in a really long fucking time. And, yeah, just, I bullshit about stuff. I may have some guests at some point. I don't know. It's hard. It's with everybody's schedule. My schedule, it's just hard to get us all here at once. But maybe next week I'll get a group of people together and we'll just bullshit about nerd stuff. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you fucking nerds later.